besties, welcome back to the Inner Child Podcast. I'm your host, Gloria Zhang, award-winning author, therapist, and healer. And I am recording this now 10 days after coming back from Nassau, Costa Rica. I had this amazing trip with my good friend Danny Goler, who some of you may know is a researcher in the psychedelic world. And I have so much to share with you from this experience. Because I experienced things there with Danny and the others, and the things that I saw that have changed me inside out, besties. It's been almost 2 weeks now, and all I can tell you right now is that everything is going to be okay. And there's nothing to worry about. What I experienced and what I got to see in those journeys and with Danny's laser experiment just helped me understand everything so much clearly. And I'm not sad, by the way. I'm just in so much awe and reverence for what I experienced. And, it changed something in my brain chemistry, like it changed something in my body, in my field, in my energy. And there's so much information, so much for me to share. It's going to take more than just this one episode. It's going to be a lifetime that we're going to be journeying through this together if you're here in my world. And let me first start off by saying what Danny's experiment was. So his name is Danny Goler. I met him about 3 years ago online, I think through Reddit or something, before he became super famous in the wellness and DMT phase industry. And in a nutshell, Danny, this human being, ever since I met him, I could tell he is just so tapped in. And over the series of, I think, between 8 to 10 years, he followed, like breadcrumbs, a series of synchronicities. One thing led to another that led him to this incredible scientific discovery that if you ingest a small amount of psychedelics, so in his case it was DMT, dimethyltryptamine, and you orient a 650 nanometer diffracted laser on the wall at a certain angle, and you peer through that projection on the wall, you will actually see a running code that goes through not just the wall, but through all of reality. And it's not a hallucination because no matter which angle you look at it, it stays exactly the same. It's an ancient language. It's a language of God that runs through our physical reality. And what started as one YouTube video for Danny has now grown into a research lab and multiple projects with over 1,000 participants over the several past years who have participated in this experiment. And everyone is seeing the exact same thing. And for the skeptics who are thinking, oh, it's just a hallucination, or maybe they're hallucinating it about the light and speckle effect. It's not any of those things. All of the variables are being tackled in a very rigorous scientific framework. And when Danny asked me if I wanted to come with him and his research partner in Costa Rica, I said yes, let's do it. And it was my first time experiencing straight up DMT. Of course, I've done the ayahuasca before 10 years ago, and I had a full episode about it. But dimethyltryptamine, first of all, it's not a drug. It's something that exists within the human body. It's a very sacred molecule. I, I don't want anyone listening to this running out and just doing it on their own. No, no, no. We had two highly skilled, highly coveted facilitators that supported me and a few others through this entire journey, through the NNDMT, as well as another variation called 5-MeO, also known as the God molecule, the crown jewel of all psychedelics. And the facilitator for that, she was a Colombian woman named Jenny with over 12 years of experience facilitating, and is also an ordained minister for this specific molecule. And oh my goodness, that woman and her energy, absolutely divine. And you won't be able to Google anything about her on the internet. She's word of mouth only, very, very low key. But to say that this changed my life is an understatement. When I saw, and I'll show you a short video clip now, and I'll have a full interview with Danny and some of the other people in the research in another episode. Believing something and then experiencing it for yourself, two different camps. When I saw that code with my own eyes, and I was on a very, very low dose of DMT, so you can still follow instructions, you can still walk around, have normal conversations. It's not really that much different as waking state. I think I actually screamed when I saw it. I think I actually yelled out like, "Oh my God, I see it." Right? Like, I see it. It's right there. And then at that point, Danny whips out his camera and he starts recording me describing everything I'm seeing. And the closer I got, the more the it became microscopic and clearer the closer I got.
Yeah, so your brain, so now
it's tiny.
It's tiny, yes.
I don't know if you can even tell in that video, but I was absolutely in awe. I felt like I was peering into something so sacred and so divine. Like I was allowed to see God's architecture and the beauty and the sacred geometry and the mathematics and this beautiful language behind the scenes. And that moment when I saw it just changed something so deeply inside me, besties, that I can't even put into words, and I'm trying to communicate here. And from that and the 5-MeO ceremonies, the reason you really need deeply experienced facilitators is that molecule just catapults you right into the angelic realms. Okay, and you're right there in heaven. I received so much information. Everything made sense, not just about the world, but also my life, why I was given the mission of creating the Inner Child podcast, why this podcast and not something else. All the life experiences that has brought me up until this point, everything clicked. And, as I mentioned in past episodes, I've been following the angels this whole time, from conceiving the idea of, or that was gifted to me, this idea of the Inner Child podcast almost 10 years ago, to then finally moving it into, putting it into reality, putting it on the internet 5 years ago. And every step along the way, I'm listening to the angels. I'm listening for the guidance and the clues. About 2 years ago, I was just feeling really confused. And that's when I was, sharing with you that the podcast didn't feel very consistent. I just couldn't logically understand what I'm supposed to do with this. Like I felt like there's something more, but I didn't know what. And now I know, and all I want everyone listening to this to know is that you are so deeply loved beyond what you could possibly fathom. And everything is going to be okay. And there's something specific about the role of inner child healing with everything that's going on in the world. Okay, and I'm not the only one. Okay, let's make this clear. There are many people who are doing a beautiful work with shadow work, inner child healing, and I take no credit for it. I did not invent the work of inner child healing. I'm just a messenger. So it's not something just related to this podcast, but this new level of awakening and how the inner child healing has a pivotal role in all of our spiritual awakenings. Okay, all of us. And it's really, I saw so clearly, it's related to the root and the base chakras. Okay, it's the bottom of your chakra system, because if you did not get your needs met as a child, if you were not loved the way that you needed to be loved in order to develop into a healthy human, your survival centers are wounded and they're stuck and they're blocked. Okay, and even if you try to ascend to the higher realms, it's going to be an unstable, unclean energy if the bottom, the foundation, the survival has not been healed. And that is what inner child healing does. Okay, it brings the bottom chakras into balance. And that is why, and now it makes so much sense why, even though I wasn't actively teaching manifestation, why our soulmate program, I always wondered to myself, I'm seriously not trying to toot my own horn here, but just out of pure curiosity, why we had so many success stories with soulmate. I never saw this many success stories. And again, we don't even offer the live program anymore. Okay. So it retired last year, and we only offer the course version now. So I'm not even saying this to pitch anything. I'm saying purely out of statistics. I didn't understand why so many clients ended up manifesting things. Okay, and here's a beautiful comment that my, Sophia, she was on the podcast a few months ago, also a graduate of that program, literally manifested her relationship at her doorstep because he is a keysmith or something. Oh, sorry. Something hilarious like that. And I think even in our conversation, I think I actually said something like, when you step into the right energy, your person will just show up at your doorstep. And he literally did. So there's just many, many funny stories of clients or even listeners, right? People who've messaged me privately from listening to the podcast. They attracted money, they attracted a new job, that this perfect out of pocket opportunity just landed in their doorstep, that they received a phone call from someone 10 years ago who said, "Oh, I forgot to pay you back these $2,000. Here you go." Just these unbelievable stories. And it makes sense to me now how when we heal the foundation, right, the inner child, it opens up that pathway for everything else. And then manifesting is not something you have to try to do. It is a natural byproduct of just being in tune with God. And of course, I use the word God because in my truth, I experience God as a person, not in physical form, but it's a being, an intelligence. That's what I personally believe. For other people, they may choose a different word like source or oneness, spirit. And ever since I got back from Costa Rica, my personal manifestation has been off the charts. I've had 100% success with lotteries, contests, giveaways, everything. So it's been 11 days now. I won 2 lotteries last week. I won a contest on the plane, which is super weird. I won some free, like over $1,000 worth photo shoot for my business. In Canada right now, it's roll up the rim to win. It's like a Tim Hortons giveaway where you roll up the rim of your coffee cup and it shows you if you won something. 100% success rate. I kid you not. And somehow I've been kind of a muse for other people. So I seem to have received this gift to help other people manifest. I'm not quite sure yet. It's still very new for me. But the word muse kept coming up, right? I have this crazy, just wild story about how I helped one of my new friends from the retreat just manifest something unbelievable, like next day. It's just, I'll have to tell you another time. Maybe he'll come on the show. I don't know. Just, and then my number 9, which I told you about 2 episodes ago, has been showing up everywhere. I'm following the messages and being led. And the thing with these gifts, right? It's also weird the timing of how the last 2 episodes were me coming out of the spiritual closet. And someone actually pointed out that the first one was actually episode 180. 1 plus 8 is 9. And I didn't plan it that way. This is just what happens, right? Welcome to my life. This is just how things just flow. Even though we discuss spiritual gifts, and thank you everyone, I've really enjoyed your messages hearing about your spiritual gifts. Gifts are meant to be shared. Okay? We are given gifts not to just keep for ourselves and for our own ego, but to help other people move closer to divinity, to help other people to heal and move closer to God. And there's something about this Midas touch thing I seem to have now where I'm supposed to be sharing it with you, besties. And it has something to do with my voice. I've experienced a knowing that has something to do with music, and that part is still coming into clarity for me. What was very clear is that this podcast is that it's been more about my voice, and I've already been able to help people heal just from hearing my voice and the way that I am delivering information and healing through this audio podcast. Of course, I'm on video right now, but you get the drift, right? And that was a start. There's something more I'm stepping into right now. It has something to do with music. I don't know that yet, but I just want everyone to know that it's coming, which is also interesting because, as some of you know, my previous background is in music. I literally was a singer in a band, and I was a songwriter and grew up classically trained in piano. I can play guitar, and that was my past self, and I never imagined that somehow those old skills will be coming into my future, right? That they're merging with this current path, and that wasn't an accident at all. That was a previous project whose purpose was to allow me to develop those skills so that I can be ready for this next step. And all I can do is trust and take it one step at a time. Speaking of community, in our Cyclebreaker online community, we just reached 1,000 members like yesterday or the day before, so perfect timing. And I'm so blessed that our weekly calls and healing sessions have been so helpful for 1,000 people now. And I will be doing a bonus Ask Me Anything fireside chat next Saturday. So I believe it's, I think March the 28th or something. It's a Saturday, and we're taking questions inside the community. So just join the link in the show notes. We'll meet you there. And whatever this is all related to, it has something to do with the community. And I've been saying that for months now. I felt it. I didn't know what it was. And now I know, and I'm coming into knowing. And you are so loved. You are. And I know it may be hard to believe that or even understand what I'm saying right now. But the story that we're in right now, it's all related to all of us coming back to God. And it's the greatest love story of all time. Forget Romeo and Juliet. Okay, the story of how much we are loved by the divine consciousness. Use whatever word you want. How much we are loved by Mother Earth. There are no words that can describe. And so if there's anything to take away from today, is that the next time that you connect with your inner child, listen to that divine voice, that quiet voice. I say this to my Christian clients all the time. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It's right here. Okay. Sorry, this necklace was given to me by a dear friend in Costa Rica. This is a beautiful tobacco necklace from a tribe in Mexico. It just makes me so happy, and so that's what that is. Just don't forget that the world we live in, it is not well. So you're not crazy, my loves. You're living. We talked about all the stuff. The way things are set up right now is designed to make you not well. And this is not the way that your soul intended for you to live, but there is a way out. And it's through the healing, okay, through all these things that we're going to be talking about on this podcast. And I want you to know that everything is going to be okay. Okay. And you keep coming back to your center, coming back to a higher connection. Everything is going to be okay. And that is the message that I meant to deliver today. There's just so much to unravel and unpack in 30 minutes right now. There's just so much. I feel like I got a new body. Something changed in my body. I feel different physically. And right away, I developed these kind of sensitivities to things that I used to be able to tolerate, right? Unhealthy, even things like sugar. I just can't eat it anymore. It makes me physically sick and extremely nauseous. And it's been a huge adapting to at home and even in my relationship, trying to talk about and explain these things. I have to apologize to any judgment I previously had towards people that even I considered too woo-woo. And everything that I believed to be true has just been knocked down. And I am so sorry to everyone who I might have passed judgment on. I'm so sorry if I did not understand your words because I just didn't know. Right? I just didn't know. Because I'm one of those people now. And I'm just going to be honest about this. I pass a little bit of judgment towards people who are very sensitive to the moon cycles or who felt very sensitive around certain energies. Because I thought, I don't feel that way. Maybe it's just they're making it up. They're blaming it on the moon or the stars or whatever. I'm that person now. Okay. I realized the reason I didn't feel sensitivity before was because my body was so bogged down by unhealthy foods and chemicals and toxins that it numbed my senses. It numbed my sensitivity. And I'm talking about the foods, cancer-causing toxins that are being passed off as food, especially in the Western world, which, some of these chemicals are completely illegal in some other countries. They do not even consider it edible or appropriate for human consumption. That we have in all of our food and the pollution and everything. And my goodness, as soon as I took some of those things out, it's like I became a different woman. I could feel everything. And it was very difficult the first few nights coming back, even from the retreat, having this big reset and being able to sense and feel things that I could only do when I was a child. And you think about, from me being 5 years old to now almost 35, about a 30-year difference of all the toxins and foods built up just gradually over time, numbing and shutting down our energetic systems. I might even have to update the last episode about how I thought I had lost some of these abilities because I was more grounded. And I was completely wrong. I lost those abilities because of the toxins that were built up in my body from this modern society. Because I'm telling you right now, myself and the others, we experienced so many miracles during that 7-day trip in Costa Rica. I astral projected again, okay? And it was clear as day. I went into this other dimension, and I was interacting with all the objects and seeing how gravity felt and picking up pillows and things like that, just feeling everything and thinking, okay, I got it. I got it back. I mentioned Jenny, one of our facilitators. We were having psychic experiences. Okay, I was actually reading and experiencing her memories and her thoughts, and we were fact checking. And just the weirdest things. So I saw us at a castle for some kind of party, and there was music and DJs, and they were people dressed up as clowns and like acrobats, and these like weird masks everywhere. And lo and behold, last month she was at a birthday party at someone's castle, and the owners of that castle are professional clowns and acrobats. And she showed me the pictures and videos, and yep, it matched up with everything I had seen. And that's just one example. But this stuff was happening all week long, besties, and has continued since leaving that experience, has continued since I've been receiving those downloads almost every single night since I got back from Costa Rica. At night in my sleep, I'd be right back in the angelic realms, having these conversations, now carrying out into my day-to-day life. The timing, right? That I felt the calling to come out of the spiritual closet and then find out about this trip. And it's just amazing. All I want you to take away from this rant is to believe me when I say that everything is going to be okay. All right. Take a moment to connect with your inner child. And I'll do it with you right here, you and me together. Okay. And I want you to imagine that right now you have so many threads, all these strings connecting you to all these other people, all these other responsibilities and beliefs and ideas. Right? And you're connected to all these strings, and they're all pulling your attention and your life force and your energy. And we're just going to collect those strings lovingly and just pull everything back into yourself so that there's nothing drawing your energy anymore. Just collect those strings and take the ends of those strings and then plug them back into your heart center right here. Okay. So that you're plugging into yourself. You're plugging into that kingdom within. And it's in your heart center. Okay. It's in your heart center. And, for those who are religious, that's what Jesus taught. It's compassion, loving compassion from the heart. Okay. And as you're tuning into the heart, I want you to imagine feeling your inner child in your heart. And you see them in their innocence, in their youthful state. Maybe they're funny or throwing a tantrum, or maybe they're sad, maybe they're grieving. Just meet them wherever they are right now and hold that child tight. Let them know that you're here. Just hold them real tight. And as you're holding that child in your arms, I invite you to go deeper into your heart. And just quiet your own inner voice and listen for any divine messages that are coming through to you in this space. Just stay there for a moment and let yourself receive. And when you receive, you will know that none of us are ever alone. That's an illusion. Okay? And you have answers and you have direct access to the divine right here in your heart. Okay. And so that was a mini version of how you can make that connection. Let's take a deep breath. You'll notice that my hair is uncurled and just out today. And that was another message that was so clear and so deep that I received. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, it wasn't with these downloads. It's not like, for me at least, everyone's different. Sometimes it's just like boom, boom, boom. Just these visual snapshots of memories and images and future, and then just all comes in at once. And it made me realize that I did have an issue around being seen. And I wasn't admitting it to myself. And it was related, in fact, this whole time to me refusing to put my face on the cover art. And I put it on for a few months and then I took it off again. There was an aspect of me feeling really uncomfortable with my feminine beauty. And that's a whole other thing to unpack. I realized there'd be times where I would try to hide my beauty, or I'd scrunch up my hair and tie it up going into a meeting, not because it was more comfortable for me, but because I thought that hiding my hair and hiding my femininity was making other people more comfortable. Can you believe it? That I was still doing that? And again, it was an unconscious thing. Okay, I did not realize that I was still running this pattern, but through my experiences 11 days ago, it was very, very clear to me. And I took this picture after I made that realization where I threw my hair out, right? And I was like, just, laid on the ground and just allowed myself to accept my femininity, as weird as that sounds. But there's something so powerful. It just opened up this whole other channel inside me, and it's been wide open ever since. Just so beautiful, just so much reverence for the feminine energy, the wounded feminine that has been suppressed for so long, so long, and how allowing myself to accept and embrace my feminine beauty is some kind of physical emanation of that. It's some kind of physical expression of the spiritual, and it's not something that's superficial at all. That's like a convoluted, wounded way of looking at it. But me being able to embrace my beauty and what makes me feel beautiful. And for anyone that resonates with this, whatever makes you feel beautiful, there's a spiritual lesson in that. Okay, there's something meaningful in that as well. So here's me with my hair out and my pink sweater. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to share this new evolution of myself, if you want to call it that. I love you so much, and I just want you to know that. I'm like holding back a little bit, but like I just want to like scream it from the rooftops. I just want you to know that you are loved, and I love you. And you can try that little exercise I shared in this episode. And for everyone else, I would love to see you in the Cyclebreaker community and at my upcoming fireside Q&A. These drop-ins are free. Okay, we don't make any money from them. It is part of my service to us and to God, because everything ultimately belongs to God. And I'm just the messenger. Go to bygloriazang.com. You can join the community or click the link in the show notes. And have a beautiful day and an abundant life. Even that phrase, when it came to me those years ago, has a meaning. And the fuller meaning will be activated soon. I love you so much. Bye, besties. Thanks for tuning in, bestie. I've got something for you. If you think this show deserves a 5-star review, we'll send you my free Inner Child Starter Kit as a thank you for your support, which contains exclusive wallpapers and resources for you to download. To get your kit, just upload a screenshot of your review on Apple or Spotify to my webpage, bygloriazang.com/reviews. The link is also in the show notes. There you can also check out my healing sessions and programs at bygloriazang.com. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast, and I will meet you in the next episode. Mwah!